Welcome to Baxter Bell Yoga. I'm here at the Oakland Yoga Studio today. Please check it out the next time you're in town. Also, don't forget you can order a copy of my book, Yoga for Healthy Aging, co-written with Nina Zolotoff, on my website, baxterbell.com. You can also find a link to order the Yoga for Healthy Aging t-shirts there as well. You can also find longer practices on the practice channel at the website yogayouonline.com. So check that out. They have some great initial offers for folks that have never been there before. So today is our third anatomy lesson that deals with the foot. So we have our model here just for moral support. We've talked a little bit about the general structures of the foot. We've talked about movements at the ankle, the foot and the ankle. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the toes. So, we've got 5 toes. The 4 smaller toes each have 3 bones in them called phalanges. The big toe has 2 bones in it. And there are certain movements that the toes can do, sometimes in conjunction with the ankle or the foot moving, sometimes on their own. So some of the main movements are the movement of flexion, where we curl the toes down, and the movement of extension, where we draw the toes up and back. And of course, those actions are going to be helpful when our foot rolls along the floor as we're trying to walk or run or move with agility. So flexion and extension of the toes, or the phalanges, at their intersection or their connection to the front foot bones, the metatarsal bones. In addition to the curling and extending of the toes can squeeze in toward one another. I'm going to demonstrate this with my hand. They can squeeze in toward one another, or they can move out away from the middle finger a little bit, or the middle toe. So this moving in is called adduction, and the moving out is called abduction. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but when I draw my toes back, my toes spread a little bit. And as I curl my toes in, they typically come towards one another a little bit. So flexion of the toes is often associated with adducting, or moving in towards the middle toe, and extension of the toes back is often associated with abduction, or spreading away from the middle toe. So those are some actions that the toes do pretty nicely. When your toes are on the ground, of course, and you press them down, you can swivel the foot a little bit away from the toes, so they can move a little bit kind of grounded moving towards the medial or lateral side of the body, depending on how you're standing. There's a couple of interesting things that happen for folks with toes. At the juncture of the big toe and the metatarsal, sometimes you'll get some inflammation at that spot, often from shoes that push the big toe towards the second toe. And people sometimes develop something called a bunion there. There's a great blog post on Yoga for Healthy Aging blog site, so if you want to learn more about bunions, check that out sometime soon. You can also get some swelling of the nerves that go between the second and third, or third and fourth toes. That's called a Morton's neuroma, and that can cause some discomfort, pain, and dysfunction for some people in their feet as well. So we want to keep the toes mobile. We want to keep them flexing and extending and adducting and abducting as much as we can. It's good to get out of your shoes and move those toes around from just a health standpoint to keep the toes very healthy over time. And that's going to wrap up our brief discussion of the feet today with a focus on the toes. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm glad our model could be here for us today, and thanks for joining me. Don't forget you can follow me online at baxterbell.com. You can also check out the blog site, as I mentioned already, Yoga for Healthy Aging. And until the next time, thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.